Good morning. Nearly there. Good morning. Greetings from New Mexico. Come on in. Welcome to the party, to the doodle party. Anybody there yet? I know you are, Steve, aren't you? Hello, howdy. Come on in. Lovely to see a bit of movement on the screen, even though it's just a blur. Lovely to have your company. How are you doing? Everybody okay? Come on in, grab a seat. Get your tea, get your coffee. We're still in New Mexico. We're so lucky. It's such beautiful weather. In fact, it's a beautiful day here in Crowborough. How about where you are? Where are you? Where are you? For those of you who are not familiar with England, Crowborough is south of London and north of Brighton. So it's right in the south of England, about an hour from the coast. Anywhere in England isn't that far from the coast. You're only a day away from the water, really, wherever you are. It's an island. But today, and in fact all of this week, we've been in New Mexico, doodling in New Mexico. Come on in, grab a seat. There's loads of seats up in this corner. Lovely to have your company. Steve's in the building with us today. Well, in your building, not in my building. I'm Mommy Jack Jones. Everybody hear me okay? Steve, if you could just ping me a text just to let me know that the volume's fine, that would be peachy. Because I'm still on pegs here. I'm a little wooden peg. It's holding out well though. And I've been recording, so my hair's up. But that's okay. I shall let it down tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm off the hook. I'm enjoying our trip in New Mexico. I love the artwork here. Many of your samples and your artwork on Clarity Worldwide is just glorious. You're doing so well. So I know that you're liking it too. Perfect. Thanks, Steve. So come on in, grab a chair, and let's get started. I think we've done the feathers to death now. I think we'll park those feathers. And we'll park the Dreamcatcher. What a great job we've done, though. I think you all understand that the Dreamcatcher was just a vehicle for loads of different techniques and tricks. We've learnt loads on that one, haven't we? And so today I thought we'd move to the other side of the copy paper and learn some more things. And doodle, you know. And it's not about, you know, learning for me is secondary. What's more important is hanging out with you and just... yeah, it's like a little bit of a Zen workout, isn't it? So I know you're thinking, well, her top doesn't look very New Mexican. Well, it is. It is actually. Come on in. I did buy it over there years ago. And I'll tell you what, see, if you look underneath, see all the beads here? See, it's got beads here. It's all hand stitched, right? But here, and it goes right around the back as well on both sides. So you've got these beads. But it used to have like tassels. Not here. Here. Right? There was tassels. Like bits hanging. And so every time we walked along, and every time the wind blew or you moved too fast, the tassel would hit your arm. Especially the ones up the back used to freak me out. Because I used to think somebody was touching me on the back. So I'd be forever jolted because I'd think that someone was after me, and it was just these blinking tassels that were hitting my arms. So I cut them off. So now my top's a little less American Indian because I cut the tassels off. However, it's nice and it still fits. Look, room to grow. Come on in. 9:59. Everybody in yet? Are you ready to go? I brought a couple of little pieces of artwork to show you as well. You know, we were talking about turquoise. So I dug out my old necklace. It's a bit like a snake, really. But it's amazingly lovely. It's amazingly heavy as well. So you really... And the other thing with this one, right, it's loads and loads and loads of circles. Look, I'll show you just quickly before everybody gets here. See, it's loads of circles. It's beautiful, right? But the trouble is, from a design point of view, when it goes around your neck... If you've got little neck hairs, which we do, right, I certainly couldn't wear this with my hair down because it would just be, well, you'd have to cut it out in the end of the day. But these bits, when you move, not ideal. Your neck hairs, you know, that down on the back of your neck, it catches in there. So you'll be walking along, and it weighs a ton, right? And you're walking along, and every now and then, I spend the entire time when this is on going like that, because I'm trying to untrap my neck hairs. So needless to say, I don't wear this one that often, but I think it's a beautiful design. Maybe I'll hang it in the window, and to ward off evil spirits. It might be more useful like that. It's lovely though. It was expensive. And I bought it in Albuquerque, and in old downtown Albuquerque. I'll tell you more about that later, because there's a fantastic there's a tradition in with Native American Indians, and I'll tell you about that because that's where I bought this necklace. It's you don't really buy this stuff in shops. You buy it from the natives, and that's a good thing. Right. Are you ready to go? Everybody happy? What's the time? 2 minutes past 10 already. Come on, we're running late. I've been waffling. Welcome to the SHAC. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. And we're in New Mexico this week, and we've been doodling a Dreamcatcher. And this is where we were yesterday. We got all caught up with the feathers, didn't we? And we learned how to do funky feathers. We learned the calamus and the rachis and the barbs, so these bits, and beads and all sorts. And so I thought today, this might be nice. I thought we'd try, look, I said we're going to go up the other side, didn't we? I thought we would do a couple of arrows, so make a frame, right? And this is nice, isn't it? I was doing this late last night, so, you know, early in the morning I thought, oh, I could have done that differently, but you know what, it is what it is. It's a doodle, right? It's not a commission. Nobody's paid me to do this. It's a doodle. And these are just symbols that I took from an old pot. So they have a lot of meaning in Native American symbolism, in Native American speak. And I thought the arrows would be, they're just a beautiful shape, aren't they? So let's have a look up close and then we'll get started. So if you have a look, there's the bottom, the spearhead, the arrowhead. And then if we go up to the top, there's the other one. So they're the same but different. But I thought they'd be quite arty. I thought they were quite nice. And then the patterns, let's have a look. We've got arrows. You can see we've got sky. There are lots of different symbols in there. I just like the graphics. I just think they're beautiful. So today I thought that's where we'd go. We'd do the arrows. We'll learn this. I'm not an expert on symbolism in Native American, but I can tell you that, you know, one means stairway to heaven and one's arrows. I know the one for rain and yeah, but you know, we'll talk about that later. So now I think if you're ready to go, it's up to you entirely whether you want to use your artwork that you've been working on, or whether you want to do the arrows on another bit of paper and then transfer it later. That's entirely up to you. That's your shout, not my shout. But I can only explain the best way forward. And then you decide, we're going to do it in pencil anyway, aren't we? So it's not like, we're not going straight to the pen, are we? So here's our piece of A4, just to give you an orientation. Are you ready to go? Should we have a sip of tea first? Let's have a sip of tea. Steve's in the building with us today, aren't you, Steve? I think I've already said that. So if you've got any questions, our Steve Ellen's in the building. He'll help you. And it's good to have your company. And we're just going to hunker down and carry on. Yeah? Keep calm and carry on crafting. That's what we're going to do. Regardless of what's going on out there, because it's freaking me out. I don't know about you. The longer this goes on, the worse it's getting for me. For an employer, for somebody trying to run a business, this isn't going that well. So, you know, it's like, for me to come in here and just doodle for an hour, it's so good to clear the head. Okay, and I'm sure if it's good for me, it's good for you, whether you've got a business or you haven't. So what I do recommend you get is a ruler. So I'm using my Pergamano ruler, and I've got the old groovy grip on the back. Do you remember the old famous groovy grip that lovely lady's husband threw away because he thought it was part of the packaging? Oh yeah, they're out there. So I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to use my HB pencil today. That's a 5B. No way, too dark. HB, bog standard in the middle. So we'll use that. I think I might sharpen it a bit because I want to get a nice edge. Let me just sharpen it. Slowly does it. Do you remember we said when you sharpen anything, colouring pencil, lead pencil, slowly. It doesn't matter. You know, whether you use, if you go too fast and you don't allow the wood to actually cut, then what will happen is you'll rip it. And whether it's a pergoliner, a spectrum light, it doesn't matter which pencil it is, a polychromo, even the Rolls Royce ones, they will also rip if you don't give the wood time to cut. Okay. So what we're going to do is over on this side, we're going to add our first piece of cake. Look. You're going to take your ruler and you're going to draw, if I show you on the one I've already done, there's the ruler, there's the arrow, see where the outside of the, see? And all you're going to do is pretty much draw 2 lines, 1, 2, all the way down, like that, about 1 inch from the top, 1 inch from the bottom, get it? And that's going to be our, let's call it a shaft, shall we? I should do my research, I know, but do you know what? I've got a lot on my plate at the moment. So we're doing an arrow. I'm going to assume that that's an arrow head. I'm assuming that this is a shaft, and I'm sure there are some experts out there that are going to tell me exactly what everything's called. That's fine too, because it actually interests me. I just ran out of time. So what we're going to do is take our, I'm working on this bit here, and I'm just going to take my ruler, because that's going to give me the guide. See where this is here tells me exactly where this is going to be here, and I'm going to run my ruler down, my pencil, and I'm just going to go like that, and then one next to it as well, because this is the spine, isn't it? Or I want it to be quite thick actually, because I want to, there you go. Let's do it like that. See, so you've got two lines, quite a fat one, but better to be fat than thin in this case. Right, and then that's going to be the top like that, and that's going to be the base. That's where the arrow is going to be. That's a bit fat really, Gray, but you can always, with pencils, you see, you can always come in a bit thinner, can't you? Happy days. So I'll just come in a bit more, because that was a little bit extreme, Barbara. Right. You wouldn't be able to lift it. It's more like a javelin. It's more like a javelin or a harpoon than an arrow. Take 3 of you to get it off the ground. Right. It's a good start. This is going to be a piece of cake, right? Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Right, okay. Right, so that went well. So we're going to have fun. Now, we're going to look at the head. Look at the arrow head, because this is where it starts to get shape. We're going to get the shape now. So you'll see it goes up like that and down. Do you want to have a close-up of it? Are you happy? Are you having fun? Have we got that lovely lady from Germany? Is she there? She was asking what time it is in Germany, if it's 10 o'clock here. If it's 10 o'clock here, as far as I understand it, it's 11 o'clock in Germany. So, guten Morgen, komm doch rein. There, that's what we're going to do. Okay? So, I'm going to put my tip there. That's my tip there. And I'm going to make it about that long. You make it as long as you like, can't you? Let's go from the top so you can see it better. So, I'm going to go from there to there. And I'm going to come down like this. Go lightly, because you can change it if you do it lightly. Otherwise, you're going to wear the paper out. Especially if I can't even get a straight line. We were on a hide into nowhere here. right, like that. That's going to be the spear, the head, the arrow head. Yeah? You see that all right? So go like that, go like that, go like that, and go like that. And then down the middle, we only want one line. So again, valuable. Do you know what? These are our biggest sellers at the moment. We can't keep up with the sales on the rubbers. That speaks volumes, doesn't it? And mine, they get shorter and shorter. It doesn't matter which one I use. They're all like little stubs. So this one's going to come down like so, right down the middle. And that's going to be that bit there. That's what I'm going to pen black. Like so. It's quite sharp. You could inflict some serious damage with this one. There you go. But they're very beautiful, aren't they, I think, arrows. Right, there you go. So that's your first piece. Then you've got the bit you hold. Shaft. Let's call it a shaft. Okay, so we've got that bit. And then at the other end, we've got the feathers, the barbs. We know that now, don't we? Right, so I thought at that end, it might be nicer. This is a little bit long, to be honest. Look, because I've got to come, if this is where my thingy is, my Dreamcatcher, I want to come along here. I probably don't want to go off the top of the page. It's going to be a frame, isn't it? So let's think this through. TIT, think it through, right? So see where the barbs are in relation to my Dreamcatcher. It's kind of, look, there's a plan, right? So the top of the barbs are running parallel with the Dreamcatcher. So if that's the case, then actually what we could do, just so that we don't go off piste, we could just make a really thin line like that, couldn't we? So now I know not to go higher than that with my barbs. So if that's the case, excuse my head, let's go into this camera so you can see it better. If that's the case, then I'm going to go to there, like to there, to there, to there, to there, right? And then I'm going to decide how long do I want my barbs. So if I'm going to come down like that, I reckon there to there, there to there, that'll do. Don't want it too long. They're only at one end. It's got to be nice and long and elegant, hasn't it? See? Look, check it out. See? So this is going to be a bit higher than that. Let's come up a bit further because it looks more elegant if it's longer. There you go. That'll do. Right, so there's me. That'll do. Okay, so that's my barbs. We're going to pen them later. Sorted. How are you doing? All right? And your shaft goes right through down to here, doesn't it? Yeah? It's all right. It's just a construction thing. It's a piece of cake, really. Look, right, there you go. So now you can put your shaft in, like so. And you've got your thing at the end. Then as far as the threading goes, the tying around, that's when it gets really interesting. So, for example, you can see on this one, because it's tied, I just thought it was quite arty to go like that. Now, remember that this has got an angle on it, because see the shadow there? So what we're going to do, if we go to the second camera, see the angle on here? So you can see I've wrapped, so I'm just going to wrap some, call it twine or call it, but what it does is, as it comes round, look, it's just holding it's an arty extra, right? But if you go up to there, then perhaps it's going to come over at an angle, isn't it? Because, yeah, and then go round the back there. And then as far as here, see, now you've got choices. I did it quite loose. I mean, it's not a very practical arrow. If you shot this arrow, right, it's an arty arrow, so I don't want it to be a real one. Right, it's just an arty one. If you shot this arrow, that's going to be so wobbly. Look, it's not attached, is it? Look, this is pathetic. If you wanted to be, you'd have to make it proper. Like if you look at that artwork, see how tight that is? That's how you would probably attach the spearhead to the shaft. But this is an arty, creative, lovely, spiritual arrow. It's a kind arrow, okay? So we're just doing a little bit of whatever around the top. Yeah? So then that goes round there. You've got to pretend. And then this is going to come round like this. Hang on a minute. So it goes round like that. You've done loads of this. We've done this ad infinitum, this, haven't we? And then at some point it's going to come round and then flutter away like that. That'll do. We can always do a bit more of that later. Cool. Right, are we happy with that? Everybody okay? You all right? It's only an arrow. It's only, look, it's 2 straight lines, which I couldn't even get that right, with a triangle at the bottom, well, like a diamond at the bottom. Be all right. It's a piece of cake. It's really nice. It'll be nice when it's done. It ain't over till it's over, all right? So we've done that. Mine's quite big. Cool. And then we're going to do the other arrow going in the other direction. So now, this arrow, again, we'll use our straight line to tell us where the shaft is going to be. So you want to come about there, don't you? You want the top of the arrow to be, look, top of the arrow about there, and then come down, and you just want to avoid, you don't want to make it too busy. And this one's underneath that one, okay? Right, you ready? So just work out where your shaft's going to be, where your arrowhead's going to go. It's pencil, you can always change it if you don't like the angle, right? But you've got to remember you're going to have your barbs there as well. So let's go like that. Listen, I was doing this at 10 o'clock last night. And it was all right, you know, all right. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when it eventually came together. I wasn't, at 10 to 10 I was a bit, right, and then missed that one. I went over that one. You've got to cut around the back and then keep going to the top, and we'll always change that in a minute where the arrow. So, don't go through it. It's going to be lovely, because then we're going to have room here. You've got to leave room, haven't you, for your picture. It's a little bit tight on mine, but it's all right. Less room, less to fill. I think that's why tags are so popular in our world. Right, now this time, let's have a look. This is quite nice. I like this. This arrow goes like that. Look, but this arrow goes up. Do you see? So it's like you're looking at it underneath. Let me show you up to. If you see the original, if you look at what we're heading towards, you see? Check it out. That one, like that. That one, like that. So, what we'll do now, we're going to decide if that's the arrow there, you're just going to make a triangle like that there. So just make a triangle like that there. Yeah. Lightly. And then you're just going to go up and then up like that. So you just can, and then you can decide if you want it to be longer, then bring the triangle down a bit further. This is going well, Barbara. Right, start down a bit further. Do the triangle there, like so. Oh, how we laughed. Right, up we go. Like that. There you go, that's more like it. So now that's going to be my, and then that's the shaft where the shadow's going to be. So you got that bit extreme grey. Like that. See, when you play with it and you look at what you're looking at, it comes together. And because you're working with pencil, so if the triangle's too tall, it'd be ridiculous. Look, eventually you just get a kind of you get the feel for it. Just look at what you're looking at. Don't look at me, look at what you're looking at. And then we're going to come down here, and then the actual shaft, the barb bit, if you like, the feather bit, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to stop it about, I don't want to come, I'm coming right off the page here, but this is all right, it's only a doodle. Right, so that's going to be my area where my shaft is going to, like that. That'll do plenty, that's plenty. So then I can rub that out, because I don't need that bit. That would be a really dodgy, wouldn't look right, would it, in the box, if that was hanging off the edge like that. You could probably do a little bead or something, arty thing. No. Right, so that's it really, piece of cake. And then once you've done that, obviously the triangle, it has to be somewhere in the middle of the two Get it in the middle, otherwise that you're never going to hit the ball. You never hit the bullseye if your arrowhead is half an inch. I don't think I'd get a job in an arrow shop somehow, in an arrow making shop. Right, there you go. There you go, like that, underneath and over the top. We can't take ourselves too seriously, people. Right, now we're going to do the wraparound again. See, I wasn't happy with mine. Mine looks more like a serpent. I much prefer the thinner one, with single line. Okay, so take it from me, this is rubbish. But I wasn't going to repeat it. I thought, well, I'll share that with you and show you that it looks much better thin than double lined. But I'd penned it too late. Okay, so let's do some twirls again, bearing in mind that when you get to there, it's going to change angles, come round. Just go random. Where are we going to go? I'm going to come round here like that, and I'm going to go up there and over there again. That's good. Then I think I'll come down here. I'll pretend I'm coming down to here. Then I'll go up there and over there. That's quite nice. I like that. And then perhaps on the top bit, I might just come round like that. There you go. That's the top bit. That's unravelled. And then in here, I'll come down and then I'm going to come round because we're good at this, remember? Look, this is easy, this bit. And then a twizzle. I might rework my, I'm not keen on that bit there. How about you? It's only a doodle, but if a thing's worth doing, it's worth doing well. So I'm going to come up on that one like that, but I think this one, I'm going to change the angle of that one. That looked like rubbish. There you go. It's all right, because it's only in pencil. Am I on my own, or are you all here? This is like stone, isn't it? When you go to New Mexico, a lot of these are made out of stones, really sharp, the old ones, until they worked out how to forge them. Right, so that's that, like that. And then the shadow's going to come in under there like that, see? And the shadow's going to be there like that. And straight away, it starts to look amazing. Okay, so we've done our arrows. Are you still with me? Yeah? Good. Also, on the shafts, for want of a better word, on the shafts, we're going to put some patterns down here. Look, see, easy patterns. So if we come down here, we could do little lines like that. Piece of cake, these ones. Let's come in tighter if you can't see me very well. So we could do little tight like that. That's where he's going to hold it, see? And then maybe here we could do our black, white, black, white, black, white, see? Because that's authentic. That's not just graphic. That is for sure. That's what they used to do, is decorate their arrows. Right, we could do another set of those like there as well, couldn't we? So that's ready to be coloured then, that one. And then this one, what I did on this one, because I wanted to change it up a little bit. Afterwards I thought, not sure. I should have compressed it a little bit. But let's give it a go. I'm going to do a double. You've got to decorate your arrows. Just adorn them, because this is a picture. So what we'll doodle into this one, right, if you can do this, if you've got the ruler, what would be ideal is to actually split that one in two. Let's see if I can split it. Kind of, good enough, right? Split it down the middle. Probably best to make a little mark at that end in the middle and that end in the middle, and then join the dots, grey. That's better. Right, and then you could make your separate, you know, those bits again, except when you go to colour it in, you colour that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. See, so it looks like a checker. That's quite nice. That's better than what I did. So you go like that. So your second time round is always better. And then you alternate the colour. So you go there, 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 there. Yeah? So you do that down the shaft. 2, 3, 4, doodle doodle. See, it's all right if you do it in pencil first, isn't it? How are you doodling? You all right? You happy? It's quite nice, this one. I like this. We'll do one more here. We're at the bottom of this one, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alternate. So we get, it looks a little bit different to the other one then. Nice. So it's just to make sure that you know what to colour in, isn't it? What to doodle. So we've got our lovely, we've got our wrap. Yeah, I like that. Right, like so. That's coming round there. When we shade it, it will definitely all come together. And then here you see we're going to, well, we'll do that with a pen. We don't need to, I don't think it helps to put the pencil in first when you're doing this bit, because as long as you know that that's the base and that's the top, that's all you need to know. And you've got your line there, and that will keep you in, right? That's all you need to know on that. This one looks more like a boat paddle, so I'm thinking that I might thin that, because that, again, it's quite, I don't think practically speaking that your arrows, I should have had a better look at them before I drew it, really. Why would I draw an arrow from memory? Like I've got some in the garage. That's better. Right. That's better. Yeah, doesn't look quite like a boat paddle now. This one looks like you could go through the water with it, like with your arrow. It's supposed to be really thin and shoot through the air. Stupid girl. Okay, how long we've already been fiddling around with these arrows. I think that we should pen these now before we do our frames. You know, before we do this bit, I think we should pen these. I think you'd enjoy penning these. Should we do that? All right, get your pens out. Ooh. I'm going to go with number 1 and the 005. Not 05, that would be crazy. Right, the real thinnest ones. If you're new to the game here, the doodleology game, what we use is these pens, isn't it? Right, from the Bridge to Art. So there are 7 in the pack, all different sizes, and the 005 is the really thin one, and then the 01 is the next size up. So these are the micron pens that we use. And what we're going to do now, I think we've got our shaping. Is everybody happy? Everybody all right? You haven't abandoned me, have you? Tell me you're still there. I woke up with a headache today. It seems to be because the weather changes so much. I seem to be getting headaches. That's what I think it is. Okay. So we'll do one arrow at a time. I suggest we do this one first and then we do that one. So what we've got to do now is go back exactly in the same direction as we went and pencil in or pen in. Normally what we say is when we do our inking, we don't use a ruler, do we? But I think on this particular occasion, I think when we're doing these shafts, you might be happier if you used, to be honest, if you used the ruler. Okay, so I am going to. If you prefer to do it freehand, then please be my guest. But I'm going to use a 005, the thinnest one, to do the sides. And this is the one at the front, isn't it? So I know, and I'm not going to go through the arrow. I'm just going to do this bit here. And I'm not concerned. Right, so I'm just going to go up here like so. Here we go. Slowly does it. Let the ink, we're not pressing too hard. We're just going to go straight to the top like that. And then, because I can see the line, rather than trying to look through the ruler, I've tried that, didn't go so well. So now I can see exactly where my shaft is, yeah? What I've penciled. Make sure it's even Steven. And then I'm going to go through here again. Gently does it. Now, if you're feeling brave, sorry, bit of a pun there. If you're feeling brave, then you could always do it freehand. But personally, I don't feel brave. Right. So now I'm going to put the arrow in. Yeah. So let's ink in the arrow head. I'm using the 005 again. And I'm not concerned about the fact that I'm going to wrap around, because I'm going to pretend it's like wire. It doesn't matter if it goes over the top. I just want to get the shape right, you see. And then I want to get the one in the middle right as well. I'm going to pen that by hand straight down to the tip. Okay, I'm in. And then I'm going to wrap my wire. So I'm going to come round like that. And when I get to the top like this, I'm going to pretend that it goes down at an angle, see? So it goes round like that. So I'm changing the angle of it. And in the same way, I'm going to come round here. When I get to there, I'm going to change the angle. You see? And it just, well, in a minute, when we do the shading, it will just add to the illusion. I don't know. I mean, there are no experts in this building. I'm certainly not an arrow expert. But it looks pretty when it's done. And then now, right, we've got choices. No, I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm going to go with a loose and kind arrow. There you go. It's not a warring arrow. When we go to New Mexico, you know, I told you that we lived near, we've got a house near Albuquerque in Mountain Air. When you're in New Mexico, there are two highways really. They're like that, right? This one goes north to south, and this one goes east to west, or south to east, you know, whichever, right? And this one is the I-25 that goes from, it goes all the way through the state, all the way down, and then so it goes from Colorado right down to Texas. I-25, just get on that, 75 miles an hour until you hit the border. Mexico, actually, you get to Mexico eventually. And then this way, this one's interesting because this one goes, the I-40, it goes all the way from the east coast to the west coast. So if you got on that one, and this is interesting because the I-40 is actually, a lot of the I-40 is Route 66. You know the old get your kicks on Route 66? Well, that is the I-40. It's disappeared, it's weird. You're going along it and then suddenly you're on Route 66 and suddenly you're not on Route 66. But if you got on I-40 going towards the Pacific, yeah, California, right, going west, as you go along, you will get to the Grand Canyon, for example. You see? That's the way you're going. From Albuquerque, I-40, about 8 hours that way, and you'll hit the Grand Canyon. So just to get your bearings where we are. And there's a place about an hour from Albuquerque going towards the Grand Canyon, and it's called Acoma. And this is where Acoma is, it's spelt, I'll show you, it's spelt A-C-A-C-O-M-A, like that. And they also call it Sky City. You should look it up. Sky City. And it's a wonderful, wonderful Native American place. And Acoma, right, let's get in here again. The reason they call it Sky City, while we're doodling here, I can tell you that. The reason they call it Sky City is because I mean, the Acoma tribe, they're not warring Indians. They were like Pueblo. Pueblo is Spanish for village, right? They were just they're not warring Indians like Apaches and so, but they were under a siege not only from other warring Indians but also the Spanish. They were giving them a run for their money as well. And so they had this town, if you like, their settlement was on the top of a mountain, on the top of a mesa. And when you're at the bottom looking up, you can't see it. It just looks like a huge mountain, a tableau. But it's only when you get up, you climb up it, that you find that there's a really vibrant community up there. I mean, now it relies very, very heavily on tourism, and it relies very, very heavily on tourists buying their pottery, because the Acoma Native Americans, they make beautiful pottery, and so. But Acoma is a beautiful place, and it's a big heritage site, and you're not allowed to take photographs when you get there. I mean, they're very protective of their culture, and they don't want it to be wrecked. I mean, the English and got a lot to answer for really over there. So have the Spanish. But Acoma on I-40 is one of the most beautiful places to visit. Now, so what I want to do now, along here, got to get your eye in. Could you use your ruler? Yes, you could use your ruler. I'm going to stick to the plan and do like we did on the feathers. Do you remember when we did the feathers here? I'm going to stick to the plan and just put the barbs in now. And I'm going to just go slowly. What pen are we using? We're going to use a 005. Everybody happy? Can you hear me all right? Cool. I'm sure you can. Steve would have let me know if we couldn't. So what we're going to do now is just get in on that. Let me get my Dame Edna's on. I'm going to put my other glasses on. That's better. Right, now slowly. The trick is to go slowly. Oh, my tummy's rumbling. And what we're going to do is just slowly put your... Is it called a quiver or something like that? It sounds right, doesn't it? Just pop your lines in like that. Gently does it. And now, as you get closer, start thinking space. Can I get 2 in there or can I get 1 in there? Oh, decisions. 2. Turn it round and go the other way. You cool with this? Right, this one this time is going this way. So what I'm going to do now, because I find it easier, I'm not going to say I want to make it symmetrical, but it's certainly, you want the barbs to go at the same angle really, don't you? Right, there you go. And once you get past Acoma, right, and you keep going along I-40 on the Route 66 towards the Grand Canyon, which is actually in Arizona, there's another really interesting place. It's a petrified forest. It doesn't mean it's scared. It means it's been turned to stone. So all the wood has been turned to stone at some point in history. That's fascinating as well. That's fascinating. I think the thing about New Mexico... Right, so we've done that one. Are you comfortable with that one? Let's have a look. That looks nice, doesn't it? Does yours look like that? When you rub out the pencil marks, it looks much better even. But let's do this one now. Let's go to this one. I'm going to use my ruler with my groovy grip. Definitely using my ruler with my groovy grip on this. And I just got to make sure I don't go ploughing through arrow number 1, please. Let me come to this one. Okay. So I'm going to make sure I can see the line I'm drawing rather than try and, because then I got a better idea of what I'm doing. Right, so I'm going to go like that to there, and then I'll stop, hop across behind, and then go again. till I get to the arrowhead. That'll do. And then I'm going to turn the whole thing round, make the artwork come to me. See, it's easier because it's easier for you because I've already done it. You should have been there at 10 o'clock last night when I was trying to figure this out. Actually, hold up, because, oh no, let's get this one in place first. Hang on. So you go like that, get to arrow number 1. This is a little bit fatter, this arrow. Right, a little bit heavier. Requires 2 people to lift it. Right, but it's also we've got to go through the feathery bit, haven't we? The quiver, or I can't remember. I'm going back to Robin Hood now, said the English woman. Right, okay, let's just put that bit in. Right, and then just top it off like that, round it off. So I've done the outside bits, and then I'm going to do the head, the head. You comfortable with that? Right, so again, it doesn't matter about the wrap because it's just going to be single line. I'm not playing that game again. Right, like so. I love this shape. Because I was thinking about making a frame, and I thought, well, we've got to make a frame of some sort. We want to make an aperture, so that we can create our mesa, maybe put Akoma in, Sky City, so you can see the little tiny, maybe a couple of little ladders if you had an area, if you had a helicopter, right? Right, make sure that's in the centre. This one's a little bit off-piece, but that'll do. And then this one comes down here like that. Sorted. And then the wraps. So I'm going to come round there like that. That's just a little flick. Cool, my tummy's going for it here. Nice. Like that, up there, and then I'm going to come down and wrap round there. See, if you learn how to do these arrows, and you make gentle, kind ones, it's a lovely mixed media kind of look, isn't it? Something very pretty, I like it a lot. Right, now these things, we've got to put this in as well, so we know where we're going to put our barbs, and they've got to be kind of the same length. Oh, that'll be weird. Right, so there's my paddles, my barbs, and then we're going to do this thing down the middle, aren't we? Where we were going to, so what we need to do here is, the reason we put a line down the middle was just to be able to draw a checker. So you can do that bit by bit, do one checker at a time. So now you can get in there, you see, it's easy. And then colour in the black bits. The thing about New Mexico is that it's not a wealthy, it's a poor state. It's one of the poorest states in the States. It's not a wealthy, oh hello, I've gone off piece there. It's not a wealthy one. And so there's a lot of poverty in New Mexico. You know, it's very apparent when you get there. But there's also a lot of beauty. And the Native American Indians, they rely very heavily. I mean, the whole state relies on tourism greatly, but the Native American Indians, they rely very heavily on tourism, you know. And so in New Mexico, in Albuquerque and in Santa Fe and in most towns, especially those two I know for sure, they have plazas, like plaza, in the middle of town. Very Spanish, and every day they have the Native American Indians. They gather there and they sell their jewellery, which is what I was coming to. Is where I bought my brooch, where I bought my beautiful hair catching necklace. But very, very beautiful jewellery, and they sit. It's quite interesting. They don't have, you know, like when we do fairs, you pay for a slot, don't you? You pay for a slot, and it's reserved, and you know you're going to get your slot, and you've paid your money. Right. So, to the best of my knowledge, there are so many Native American Indians who want to sit on the floor in the plaza and sell their jewellery, lay out their jewellery, that every morning, believe it or not, 7 days a week, they have a lottery. You literally, if it's an Native American Indian, you can't reserve your slot. You have to get there. Imagine this, right? Can you imagine trying this at the NEC, right? You have to get there. I'm going to put a pencil line in. Get your head around this. And you wait. And then your name goes in a hat. And if your name's pulled out the hat, that's a lottery, right? If your name's pulled out the hat, you can put your blanket out and you can get your jewellery out. If your name's not pulled out the hat, you can go home. I mean, that is unbelievable, isn't it? Imagine trying that in this country. So go to the NEC, get in the queue at stupid o'clock in the morning, and then find out whether you can stall out or not. And these are very talented artists. You know, you can't, this isn't something that you can, this is a lifetime of work, you know, to be able to make something this beautiful. And then you get all these tourists just going along and, I don't know. I do it to support, but it doesn't make me feel good. It's not something that I enjoy seeing. It's not like, oh, you know, take a photograph of these people sitting on blankets trying to make a living. It doesn't really do it for me. But I go and I buy for obvious reasons. Right, so we've done all our pencil work now. Ink work, sorry. So what we'll do now is we'll go through. Have you done everything? You wait, when you get rid of all the lines now, it will look really cool. Look, we've done our arrows. Takes as long as it takes, doesn't it? Are you enjoying these? I think they look really arty, don't they? I bet they look smashing in little as well. Right, so take your red eraser and just get rid, like that. And then today, what we also want to finish, it's the time, 10 to 11. Oh, it's all right, we're on top. There's no point in rushing. That's not the point, is it? I've got so much to do today. There's no point in stressing over it. It will get done. It's just going to take a little bit longer than anticipated. Right, there you go. Like them, don't you? Are you happy with your arrows? Are you happy? God, those glasses are so strong. Sorry about that. Are you happy with your arrows though? They're nice, aren't they? You could make the whole, you could put another pair, if you're really into them, you put another pair that way, another pair that way, you know, you could make the whole, you could just do 4 arrows overlapping and then do that tying, you know, like we had on the kite. Do you remember the kite, the knot in the middle? You could just do 4 arrows like that, crossing over one another and then bind them, couldn't you? That'd make a smashing doodle border too, wouldn't it? So don't forget, while you're there, even if you're just sitting there and watching, do me a favour, like, follow and share, and then that way other people get to see it in your community, and so it goes on. It's like a virus. Not funny. Right, so now we've done that, let's have a look. Before we move on, why don't we do a bit of shading? Let's make these beautiful, and then we'll do our border as well. Because the border patterns, we're not going to get them done in 10 minutes time. That's tomorrow's job, if that's okay with you. Tomorrow we'll do the borders and we'll do our landscape, because the landscape's a maze, so it's that. And you know what? If we have to come back on Monday to do the landscape, that's okay too, isn't it? I know we're supposed to be doing colouring in, but, or tomorrow we just go for it, like, come on. It's up to you. We'll see. Let's do a bit of shading. Come on. This is enjoyable. So the shadow, I'm going to use my HB pencil again. What one have I got here? HB. And I'm just going to come in here, and we're going to add a little bit of shadow here, just along that edge, along that line there. Okay, let's do that. That'd be nice, like so. And then we'll turn it over, and you'll see as soon as you add a little bit of shadow, it makes it's transformational, really. Just a little line along there, just a little bit of pencil work, right? And then we'll do a little bit of hatching. So we'll go that way, and you could use colouring pencils to do this, couldn't you? But let's just add a little bit of depth along there, along those. Isn't that nice? See how different it looks when you just add a bit of... I tell you what, if you take a darker pencil, there's this one is 5B. We could do this right at the end. Look how black, see, buffer black. Nice. And then you really get your dimensional. See how different that looks? And the thing about using pencils, what I like about it is, if you think you've overcooked it, then you just get your rubber out and get rid of it again. Nice. See, so now I've got my depth there in my quill. Cool. And then the other end, look at the difference between the two, where we've added a bit of shadow there and where we haven't. Flat as a tack, look, just looks like a toilet brush. Sorry. Right, so go to the toilet brush and then just add a little bit of depth along there, along the shaft. Cool, I'm getting all my words out today. Right. So just add some shade along there like that. And then it gets lighter as it comes out. Yeah. And if you think you've done too much, you can go in and you can just rub it out again, right? In you go there. Shading. That look nice. And then we're going to go to the arrowheads and watch how lovely that looks when we do it. Right. And again, if you feel, like I keep saying it, but I'm going to say it again, if you feel you've done too much, just run over the top of it and take it back a little bit. And if you want to make the shaft up the middle, the spine bit, stand out because you've rubbed it with your arm or your hand and you've greyed it up a bit. There you go. How's that? Happy with yours? Cool. And now we're just going to put the shadow in on this side. Let's go from the top. On this side and on that side. So the light, as far as I'm concerned, is coming from the dream, from the scene, from the sun that we're going to put in. The light is going to be on this side. This is the dark side, so to speak. So we'll take our HB and we'll just put a little bit of shadow in that area there, like that. Just so that you know which one you're doing. Like so. Easy, this is. Right, down you go like that. Right, so we've got the whole bit is grey. Okay, gently does it. See that? So the whole bit is grey there, and there also. In fact, while we're on this one, you see, because this one, it's got a bit of shadow under here as well. It's a bit of be pretty strange, this one, but the shadow's under there as well, because you're looking up into it, see? So you're going to have to add a little bit of shadow there as well. This would be nice, you watch. So now we're going darker there, because that's in underneath. Catch that like so. Be cool. This one's going to be a little bit darker there, because... And then concentrate the depth. Come in here like this. Concentrate the depth along the top, not along the bottom, along the top like this. Just go back over with your HB pencil and add the depth along the top, not the bottom, so that it gets lighter as it goes down. You see? We'll do the same down here. It's this side here, it's this ridge you're going to darken. It's like that will make a big difference. You watch. When you do that, it's easy really, just about where do you put the light, where do you put the shade. See? So now that is definitely, I love that arrow. There, look. See? So there's my arrow. Lighter there. Darker in the middle. If you've got a dark pencil to really blacken up that middle bit, that's quite cool. That works. We can always do that at the end, can't we? Because in a minute we're going to be putting the patterns in. Tomorrow we'll do that. Hey, how about that then? Are you cool with that? Nice. And then we'll just take our HB pencil again, HB pencil, and what we've got to do now, if we look at the one that my original one, you'll see there's just a little bit of depth along the shaft, right? And remember what we said about the light coming that way. So we'll turn this whole thing round and we'll just add a little bit of shadow all the way along here with an HB pencil really lightly. We're experts at this. We've done this so many times, haven't we? Look, haven't we? A little bit of shadow in here, like that. On that side, la, da, 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 da. And then along this one, the rather fatter one, there. Oh, sorry, my head's in the way. So engrossed in my shading here. Sorry about that. Like that, see, along there. And then along the back. Now this one's behind this one, so this is going to be a little bit depth there, isn't it? So you can define that there as well. So now you know that's behind, that'll do. And then along there a little bit. There we go. And then along here, just to the top. So you've got a little bit of shading going on. And there you are. So now we've got a Dreamcatcher and we've got a pair of arrows. Nice. Let's have a look. I'm pleased with them. I hope you are. And then tomorrow we'll put this in, we'll put this in, and we'll put a landscape in. And then I think we'll have to make a decision. Because what we could do, you see, what we could do is then just say, okay, we'll park that one, put that one to one side, and then maybe, since we've travelled all the way to New Mexico, maybe we just stay there. Don't know. Next week we're definitely doing colouring in. It's whether or not we weave it into this. But we're definitely going to use the postcards again next week, so don't give that a second thought. And maybe tomorrow we'll do you could do the patterns over the weekend. There you go. That's your homework. I'll show you the symbols tomorrow, and then you can put them in over the weekend. What a good idea. There you are. So tomorrow I'll show you the patterns and we'll concentrate on the landscape. How does that sound? Yeah. And then we'll stick to the plan, because honestly we need to stick to some plan. And then on Monday we'll get our colouring pencils out again and we'll do some colouring. How's that sound? Have you enjoyed your arrows? I have. It's feathers, it's arrows, it's New Mexico, it's Native American, it's all those lovely things. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And thank you very much, Steve, for helping me today. And thank you for keeping me company, everybody. Yeah, I'm really enjoying New Mexico, this type of artwork is just, for me, it's such a pleasure. It's just so lovely. And I think there's something about it's not just the art, it's the spirituality of it. You know, it's the essence of it. Look up Acoma. Look up Acoma. It's a beautiful place on the I-40. And yeah, so I'll see you, what's today? Thursday. Well, at 5 o'clock this evening, I'm on the telly again on hochanda.com. So catch up with us there. And we got those lovely flowers, those lovely flower stamps and groovy plates that we had on yesterday. And then, and tomorrow, I'll see you here at 10 o'clock in the morning, I hope. Great to have your company. Take care. Be safe. Lots of love. Bye-bye now.